So, yeah, here we are, everyone. Game number 3. It's 1-1. It couldn't be more exciting as we are going into our map number 3, and this is Gruppe. And we have Gonzo here on the left, bringing in Gruppe Harteneck, whilst Inshaa on the right is bringing in 84th Reserve. And we have a different income for the first time in this series as well, as on the river map, playing defensive is absolutely viable, and Gonzo is the one doing so. He plays balanced. Inshaa has the Maverick, so it's Inshaa who has to bring the pain to Gonzo in the first couple of 20 minutes. If he can't do that, Gonzo's advantage in C phase will be insane. So Inshaa under pressure here. He has some tools for doing that. 84th is the division of his choice. You can see the picks and bans. So pretty standard, all the picks and bans this time. Completely standard stuff. Second New Zealanders with the buff lately. Makes perfect sense to ban them. 97th, still scary. Second Infantry, 17th SS, 26 guards. DFL, 43rd Reserve, 4 Vulture Makers. Like all super standard bans. And also 2 pretty solid picks for the map. And I'm really interested to see what Inshaa's plan here will be for the map. And before we go in and see how it all plays out, once more, a quick shout out to Matcherino, guys, where you can help out with funding this tournament and where you can do so for completely free. All you have to do is going to the Matcherino page, and it loads up in a second, hopefully. You see some easy codes here on the side. Why did it refresh when I switched it over here? Okay. Hopefully we will see it in a second. But yeah, go to Matcherino, use the codes on the right to add some free money to the prize pool that will be paid out to these players in the end, getting Steel Division 2 a slight bit closer to esports and making these guys' days a bit brighter as they do for us the same with amazing shows that they show us. And as I said, you don't even have to pay anything yourself, you just have to do the sponsor quests on the right side by visiting a website, for example. And you don't have to pay anything, you don't have to buy anything, you just have to visit the website of Lucid Sound. They have 2 such links, each of them adds 20 cents to the prize pool. And in the end, you will add nice dollaroos to the prize pool with that. Yeah, this is how it all looks. These are the goals you can do. And yep, that's going to be interesting. We see Mother 3s here already coming in for Gonzo in this game number 3. In this best of 5. So whoever wins here will be on match point. That is a really interesting position to be in, obviously. That would be super powerful. Gonzo was able to equalize the score in the last game. He was the one with the IS-2 1944s back then. Now, this time around, it's Inshaa with a deck that has them. Though 84th has a lot of issues otherwise. It has strong infantry, but it doesn't have many medium tanks. It's air tap, it's artillery tap, all not that great. A unit that is in the deck though, that Inshaa is absolutely loving, is the ARM-38 50mm mortar. It's the best 50mm mortar in the support tab, as it has more range than the others. Still only 800 meters, but 800 meters makes them way more useful than other short mortars. A lot more use cases for these. And Inshaa already uses the ones with only 500 meter range. So the extra 300 meter range makes them even scarier in the hands of him. And meanwhile, Gonzo seems to set up for a bit of a push in the south here, whilst Inshaa's push comes in the north and maybe potentially in the center. 2 ARM-38s here coming in, though it might be that these go over here and try to do a push over here. I'm not 100% sure what these units will try to achieve. Gonzo with Gruppe Harteneck, a division that has a nicely buffed infantry unit in form of the Reiter Jägers, that has buffed Flak Feelings, that got buffed Tigers over the last year or so. So a lot of nice buffs for a division that was somewhat mediocre beforehand, but within this season, Harteneck really has become one of the top Axis divisions. And the Reiter Jäger MP44 was really the last step it needed to get there. Solid CQC unit, and together with a great set of different tank options with Tigers, Stokes, Jagdpanzers, and the VK, you really have all things covered. that you need to have covered in that regard. This division is really powerful. Your EA is still relatively low in numbers, but with the flak feeling, you have a decent option. Let's see what Inshaa is trying to go for here as the game starts. So yeah, he brings them in up to the north. So this is where Inshaa wants to bring the pain to Gonzo. This will be the most important part in the early part of the game. Question is, does Gonzo go for the counterattack in the south? No, this is a defensive setup, and that might be bad for Gonzo, because that's a lot of investment for defense down here, where there's no attack coming, meaning that those points might be dearly missed up here in the north. Reiterjäger MP44s though coming in, and they even outclass the Superior Rocks, if I'm correct. 38s can help out, obviously, dealing with them. But the Panzer Grenadiers and the Reiterjäger MP44s won't be easy pushovers. SD2 coming in, Mother 3 on the other side though. As the Serpeggi Rocks and Automachikis roll in here. VK 20mm tank moving around. Arm 38s with the first couple of shots coming around here. Trying to hit the Reiterjäger MP44. Stunning it down pretty quickly there. You can see the rate of fire of these mortars is absolutely insane. Reiterjäger over here also already stunned down. And that's the big danger of playing against especially 2-star veterancy 38s here. The rate of fire on them is completely ball, as they already pinned down the first couple of units here, forcing them back and allowing Inshaa to get this position better under control. Serpeggi Rocks and Automachiki combined should be able to do the job here. We have Reiterjäger instantly pinned down. 38s trying to help out even further. Bujarok getting pinned down. VK tries to find the 38s, but they are not visible here. And Guardia DP might be able to, with some side shots, to be annoying to the VK as well. As the anti-tank rifle can do some damage over time to them. SD2 coming around in the north. In the south, Gonzo still not on the offense. Actually, Inshaa being rather brave here. 2 Guardia DPs already crossing the river. Maybe a bit of an overextension there by Inshaa in the south. But in the north, his push over the river worked out on the 1311. That's not good enough though. But it's a good first step here. Getting a bit of a bridgehead. And then threatening 2 more flags over here. If he gets to a 59, then this might become pretty painful here for Gonzo. Gonzo has to survive into the late game. He has the balanced income. He will rule the late game if he can get there. But Inshaa will have a major advantage on points, especially in B phase. A phase is relatively equal nowadays between Maverick and balanced, but in B phase, Inshaa will have a 40-point advantage per minute, and he will press that hard. So Gonzo needs to be ready. Panzer Grenadiers here getting bullied by the Arm 38s, getting instantly pushed back. Artillery coming in from the rear as well, as the Guardia DP might be able to cross now. Next Arm 38 over here, but maybe find the target as well. 2-2 coming around for recon. No AA on the battlefield just yet on the other side. That might allow the IL-237 to get some nice kills done. Opel Blitz actually gets sniped here. 2-2 not quite having the line of sight on the Martyr, it seems. Okay. Should get it any second now again. IL-2 switches targets to the units back here, and with its 37mm AP guns, it gets the kill onto the first unit here. AAPs coming in for Gonzo now in the rear, but loses a VK and loses 1 unit in transport. And I think that was a Panzer Grenadier unit in transport, so a pretty expensive loss there as well. As Gonzo, with the Reiterjägers though, able to push the units back here. Arm 38 not quite on target, and the Reiterjägers outclass even the Serpeggi Rocks there in the forest fight. 2-2 still moving around. IL-237 coming around for more runs, trying to deal with the VK, trying to deal with the Panzer IV, the T-34, which has a gun jammed. M42 aiming up over here. IL-237 not quite getting on target just yet, as the 2-2 keeps on flying above this, keeps on an eye on a line of sight onto the enemy tanks. IL-237 still having a lot of ammo left. Should be easily able to deal with the VK. Yeah, VK down. Question is, does the T-34 get killed as well? Yes, it does. So, good kills here for Inshaa. Getting rid of a good amount of armor. IL-237 already paying off both by killing off the ground units and then also forcing Gonzo into some big AA investments. That will mean that he has less units directly on the front line, both through the ones killed off and through investments into rear line units that don't directly help out there, only indirectly. So maybe allows Inshaa's units here to push a bit harder over the river. It's 1311, obviously nice, but still a long way to go. More tanks coming in here now for Gonzo. Sapegi rocks trying to get in. Panzer Grenadiers finding the M42. Nice kill there. Arm 38s trying to help out. Getting nice stuns here again, but only medium amounts of damage. 2 Panzer Grenadiers falling. The damage part is not the strength of the Arm 38, but the stun part is really, really crucial. 2-2 might go down here, and that would be a big loss to Inshaa, as the recon plane helping out, spotting all that stuff is really nice. It's close, but yes, the flak 20mm, the 4th 20mm get the kill into a 2-2. 2-2 recon goes down, so nice kill there for Gonzo. 1311 at the moment for Inshaa, now 1410. It's on the brink, but 59 is where it becomes really important. 59 is where you get the better tick speed, so that's what Inshaa needs. Otherwise, Gonzo has enough time to get into C phase here easily, and as he would still have 28 minutes at the current speed to come back here. Artillery from Inshaa landing on units in the rear, but Inshaa needs to get something to cross the river with here. T-34Es moving into the south, IL-237 coming around here as well, getting rid of the T-34, I think this is. Yes, oh no, it's a VK. A VK getting killed off. So another nice kill for one of Inshaa's planes there. The Bergy Rocks moving forward as well. L-237 also used its bombs up. As a commander coming in here for the rear. Inshaa liking his commanders. Coming in here at the end of the A phase with it. Bergy Rocks didn't right Jaegers. I mean, he has a good amount of leaders all around, so having the commander getting everything to 3 or at least 2-star veterancy is pretty nice. Means even higher rate of fire on his Arm 38s, though those are running out of ammo here a bit. This one over here still has a solid amount of shots left. The one over here is completely empty though, for example. The right Jaegers still around for Gonzo. Gonzo also dodging this time relatively well. 38 not quite getting the hits. Sapegi Rocks moving forward. Artillery landing all around as the commander comes in here in the south. Guardia DP holds against the Hujaroks. AAP's coming in here for Gonzo as well. Guardia's trying to find some flags in the middle. A 59 would be really, really crucial here for Inshaa to achieve. 59 would put a hell of a lot of pressure onto Gonzo. But for now, it stays on the 1311. 59 now achieved with the flag over here and the flag in the rear over here though. Jaeger Pioneers will take a while to get this back under control. But the Guardia DP got caught. Okay, so 59 only actually gonna happen for a couple of seconds as the Guardia DP lose their influence onto the front line for a while there. And the flags over here, at least the rear ones, are rather safe. So 1410 is the only thing that Inshaa gets for now, and that's not good enough. That allows Gonzo a lot of points in C phase. And I mean, on Krupa, you potentially could hold as Maverick against Balance if you have a good enough advantage and then play really defensively in the late game. But it still is going to be such a tough thing to do. Like, river maps in League are not quite as brutal as they are in Ranked, as the enemy will have to come to your side of the river as well eventually. And to get you down to the points they need as before the 50-minute mark is hit then. But Gonzo still will have a long time of income advantage there in C phase that he can make work. So Inshaa is hard pressed here to try to get the 59, at least get into a massive point advantage before C phase, so Gonzo will have to push really hard to get it back, but that's not gonna be easy. B phase now coming around, so Inshaa now getting the great income, and the big question is, what will he buy with it? Will we see an IS-2 1944 early on here now? Or will we see some more infantry spam here? Maybe some more mortar spam out of Inshaa? A lot of options. And soon the money to go for one of them. Guardia DP holding up against the Hujaroks. BK not quite able to get on target there. M42 could be pretty dangerous. But only a 13-11 right now. And even that is close to falling. In the south, an artillery piece coming in for Inshaa as well. And there's the first IS-2. Okay, it's an IS-2 Comrade. So it's a 1943 model, but doesn't make much of a super big difference in this matchup, as there's no big late game Pak 43s or King Tigers or anything like that in the deck of Gonzo. No Nashorns, no Elephants. So yes, the Tigers and the Pak 40s have a slight chance if they get in the right range to penetrate an IS-2 Comrade frontally, but that's usually not the way how you want to treat it anyway. So going for the slightly cheaper 1943 version is pretty fine here for Inshaa, as he is closing in onto the enemy here. In the south, F-22 coming in. Katyusha will try to pin down enemies as well. Try to achieve some breakthroughs there. Ooh, but it's back to a 12-12 now, and that's really not what Inshaa wants right now. 12-12. Every second that we have this here is a second more that Gonzo is getting closer to C-phase without paying any cost for it. So this is rough. Inshaa needs to get back on the tick, needs to get a breakthrough somewhere. That's obviously what he will try to get with the B-phase income, but means that Gonzo most likely will have some reaction time in C-phase to try to get it back under control. Off-map now coming in for Inshaa in the north. IS-2 slowly moving forward. Whilst in the north we have Jaeger Pioneers and Hujaroks engaging onto Guardia DPs. Battery Führer coming up, Rider Jaeger holding the line over here. Stravniki slowly moving in. And 12-12 really is where we're at. No supply trucks coming in for the ARM-38s. It's not really worthwhile. Like, most of the time it's more efficient to just get another ARM-38. So, yeah, but we don't get any of those either. Katyusha, though, hitting the south. Trying to pin everything down here, trying to deal a bit of damage. Doesn't pin down the AA too well, though. That was the goal. It kind of failed in that regard. Pinning down the AA was the goal. Martyr trying to come around onto the T-34. Has to be careful, though, with the IS-2 coming around. T-34E and IS-2 engaging the Ersatztrupp MG. Martyr gets a crew killed. Oh, T-34 in trouble. Martyr 3 getting microed nicely here by Gonzo. As the Ersatz MG is under pressure. IS-2 will get a shot off, though. But the IS-2 of Inshaa, not as deadly as the one of Gonzo last game. Won't find the first shot, first kill thing. Ersatz MG still under heavy pressure, though. As the Guardia DPs and Saparis move on forward as well. Sapari and Automachiki rolling in here too. And Inshaa really wants to break the south now. In the north, it's still a stalemate. And with the off-map, maybe a potential for Inshaa to get a bit of stuff there. But he needs a 59. And it seems like the south is now where he wants to get that. Obviously, kind of clever to pivot around there. Though you usually want to pivot at the moment where you still have a 13-11, where you still keep the enemy taking. But pivoting down here means that he has a lot more points that he can get in here over the next couple of minutes, whilst Gonzo with his lesser income can't quite afford the same amount of stuff down here. And moving units from the north to the south takes a long while. Not really worthwhile. So Inshaa's pressure will mount here. And he has still 5 minutes of great income until he needs to be on a solid position to entrench and tick the enemy down from. So far, though, the point advantage really not that amazing for Inshaa. He needs more than this. He won't be able to hold out 30 minutes on the current advantage in C-phase. That's at least would be highly unlikely. So Inshaa needs to do more. Obviously, goal would be outright winning. IS-2 once more missing against another unit here, T-3485. T-76 not getting instantly hit here. Pack 40 trying to get some kills onto some infantry. IS-2 aiming up once more. Once more missing though. Okay. That's pretty unfortunate. As the ME-410 comes in for the IS-2. It has a 50mm gun. It potentially can penetrate if it gets close enough, but it struggles to do so. These things got buffed nicely as well, if I remember correctly. IL-237's coming in on the other side. AA still alive here though. Artillery still flying. As it's getting pretty close to Inshaa being on the 1311 here now. In a second. Off map has come in the north, if I see that correctly. Or no. No, these are not 203mm off-map craters. So, still potential then for that. Bujaroks getting hit by Stravniki and Saperis. Infantry in 84th, really good Warrior Guards division. Meanwhile, IS-2 once more actually missing against the T-34. That's really, really painful. Heinkel 111 coming around with some nice bombing runs. ME-410 trying to get some damage in as well. As the Heinkel 111 bombs really fly in now. Getting rid of the units on the front line. Yak-1B tries to get the kill there. AA is around though. And good micro from Gonzo will keep the Yak-1B off the Heinkel 111. And the AA in the south on the ground might be able to deal with the Yak-1B. Yak-1B not a fighter that should stay around AA for too long. And it's actually turning back into it. So yeah, that's the end of the Yak-1B. That should be the end of the Yak-1B here. And that's a big loss here. Yak-1B, solid fighter. Especially if you take it with such a high veterancy level. But it's completely blundered here. As it's not a resilient one. So, goes down. VK and Tenko de Sanikis starting to clean up. Oh no, it's Stostruppen. Wrong side. But yeah, Stostruppen cleaning up the forest. IS-2 trying to get another shot against the T-34. Really not lucky with that at all. So far. No luck with that so far for Inshaa. Off map doing a good job here though. Might allow Inshaa a 1311. But he really needs to get more than this. 59 for at least around like 5 to 10 minutes. And then being able to dig in and wait for the counterattack of Gonzo. But I feel like winning outright by now is kind of off the table for Inshaa. With the income advantage going into Gonzo's favor in 50 seconds. But was starting to go into Gonzo's favor in 50 seconds. IS-2 misses again. What? Oh boy, it was just never lucky. Inshaa here with his 1-star veterancy IS-2. Like, yeah, not missing with the first 3 shots or so, but the 4th one and still no hit. That's really unfortunate. 1311 for Inshaa though. As Black in the north gets retaken thanks to the off map. Big attack in here. Smoke helping out from the RM38s. Pack 40 from the rear dealing good damage. M42 hits the T-34 76. Panzer 3N being pushed back. Ottoman-Chiki moving around in the forest. And the 12-12 situation is back here. But this should be a 1311 any second. So Inshaa will get a bit more ticks. And I feel like he at least needs to get Gonzo below half-life. And then needs to get a really strong defensive play online if that's the plan. Or he needs to go for all-out destruction now within the next couple of minutes. But I don't think that his deck allows for that. As his IS-2 still struggles to get skilled. Shooting stuff in the rear. T-34 is still alive. OB-25 hitting the Bujarok Golyorsk. MG-42 under fire. IS-2 coming around here. Trying to deal with the MG-42. Yes. The OB-25 hits the Bujarok Golyorsk. VK hits the guided DP. Saperi Kamrodi maybe could find a kill there. Yeah, that's what he tries to do now with the Saperi Kamrodi. With a Panzerfaust, that could be done. As IL-237s try to come in here. AA from the rear. Pushes them back a bit, but at least the Jaeger MG42 takes some damage from the bombs. Doesn't even quite go down though, as the L237 was too stressed to get a direct hit. Another off-map coming in here. Katyusha is around. 1311 for Inshaa, as off-maps have been used up this time, both in the north. One down here, one up here. But Automachiki is still getting pushed back. The right Jaeger MP44 is really doing a good job. M42 at least will find the Panzer III here most likely. Yes, good kill there. But still a good bit of half-life in Gonzo, and far from winning here for Inshaa, as we have arrived on C-phase, and the first good C-phase income will come in next minute for Gonzo, as the L237 itself is in trouble. Two flak feelings in the rear here, and the L237 actually gets just outright shredded. IS-2 still hasn't found much damage here. No IS-2 anywhere else on the map. Artillery will struggle to counter battery, especially against the self-propelled flak feelings and against the Gepards. Oh, the SDK's at 11 flak. 1311 still continues here, but Inshaa now on a 30-minute tower defense kind of gameplay now. Needs to keep the bridges under his control against a Gonzo that will get stronger and stronger. It kind of will become a horde mode for Inshaa, trying to defend his slight advantage. Like, that's only a couple of minutes of single take that Inshaa is in front. So as soon as it goes to double take, the time here for Inshaa might become desperate. Jagdpanzer on the hill. This is 3-gun. Trying to help out against the infantry. Jagdpanzer in the north has found a target. Meanwhile, Katyusha doing a decent amount of damage this time around in the south, but the AA still alive. So using airplanes here for Inshaa, not really an option. IS-2 still not on target of anything, and with the 1943 model, the Martyrs have a chance of penetrating them. The Martyr ones with the PaK-40, if they get in the solid range with the APCR. The IS-2 might have a rough time. Another IS-2 coming into the south. Interesting to see none in the center. Like, usually the center allows for big tank plays, both around here and around the direct center. So interesting to see both of the IS-2s down in the south, as we have a ping in the north from Gonzo pinging onto the enemy AA. Heinkel 111 being forced back, but 27 minutes here now for Gonzo to turn this all around, and he has the income to do so. He has everything that he needs for that. SDKZ 251/2 coming onto the battlefield for Nord now, for Gonzo now though. The mortar half-tracks can wreak some havoc. F-22s shooting from the rear for Inshaa, as the 12-12 situation is not perfect. IS-2 went into the careful mode back here. Obviously losing IS-2s here would be really painful. Katyusha loading up, trying to get rid of some AA. F-22 out of ammo in the rear. Both IS-2s now around here. The 1944 model, pretty impervious even to the Marder ones. And the Jagdpanzers. Another one of those would be lovely in the center, but affording them is a absolute pain, as they cost you more than a minute of income in your good face, and more than 2 minutes of income, even close to 3 minutes of income in C-phase. So if you buy one of those, you miss out on a lot of other good stuff. As Inshaa once more back to a 1311 for a couple of seconds. Takes a couple more seconds off of Gonzo. And really tries to stabilize this whole thing. Not overly aggressive, which I like. Often you have people try to just go in with all the stuff and win. And I mean, Inshaa is not necessarily in a position to where he needs to push. He can also just go out for efficient defense, but that's not gonna be easy. Two IS-2s in the south. No ones in the middle. Shavniki being pushed back. Artillery coming in from the rear. RM38, still no supply. Off map has used up all its shots. ME410 coming in. 37mm, good enough to push back though. ME410 getting out of there. And the 12-12. Angle 111 coming in from the sky. A lot of 250 kilogram bombs for a single OB. No fighters on the other side. Another 2-2 recon plane here actually coming in. Okay, that's an interesting choice. As the 2-2 will be pushed back by the flak feelings. Should not be killed off as it turned back really early on. Heinke 111 on the way out. Marder still biding their time. Gonzo still has a hell of a lot of time. He doesn't need to push yet. By now, he has equalized with Inshaa in overall income generated throughout the game. And from here on out, Gonzo will just go ahead and get more stuff than Inshaa onto the battlefield. Inshaa with a nice kill here though. Like, Inshaa's KD from here on out needs to be really, really good. To not allow Gonzo to get onto his side. And he might be able to do that. Katyusha and off-map, both really strong. 2 IS-2s down here. So that's good defensive stuff. In the center, Gonzo doesn't have the forces to push. Question is, maybe Gonzo can push in the north as Guardia DPs and Panzer 3Ns roll in here. 38's not doing much. There's not many tanks here for Inshaa. Only a combat. T-34, one of them coming around here. As we have 12 seconds here for Inshaa now. Till the artillery comes in. Panzer 3N in the center. Rolling slowly forward. Jagdpanzer 38T. Engaging onto the SG-43. Okay, nice shots here. Ooh, yeah, this off-map is really hot. Like, this might be the crucial off-map. He got rid of the AA, so his airplay might be able to come in here again. If he realizes that, he could bring absolute pain down here. And he hits basically everything. That was the perfect off-map. He couldn't have hoped for a better off-map this game. He got rid of the AA, he hits everything. Everything here is damaged. Kills off a couple of infantry units as well. If Inshaa would want to push at any given moment in this game again, this would be it now. Getting your IL-2s out once more, and getting your IS-2s over there maybe. That off-map actually is going to be way worse, because exactly his first off-map being so effective and I'm already having everything pushed out. Coming maybe a bit too fast here. I don't think this off-map is actually necessary. Did he cancel it? No, I think it's coming in, right? Yeah, it's coming in. I don't feel like this off-map was necessary. And with the 203mm, you only get 2 off-map calls. So, yes, the first one already paid off, but I feel like the second one could have been better. As Gonzo is slow pushing for 1311 for him in the center. Only one Guardia holding, or 2 Guardias holding the flag here for Inshaa. Hujaroks now pushing them out of there. OB-25 trying their best to get rid of the Hujaroks. First one's done down, but more stuff is needed there. Automachikis coming around on the south, Guardias and Saperis moving in. But yeah, this off-map, the second one, if that would have landed down here again, killed off maybe some Martyrs, or would have waited for a better moment to come in, I think that could have been really, really crucial. Instead, it's a bit wasted here. Assist 3 gun, and that get a kill onto the Jagdpanzer. Does bounce. The 1.5mm frontal armor, not super easy to penetrate for the assist 3 gun. OB-25 gets killed off by the Hujaroks, and Gonzo is on the 1311. And that's obviously something that Inshaa can't allow at this stage. 20 minutes will be more than enough for Gonzo to get Inshaa out of his advantage. So Inshaa needs to equalize a 12-12, and that's not gonna be easy. Neither in the center nor in the south. The flags here are relatively far back. Surfniki is trying to push. You maybe need to move an IS-2 over the river, and you really don't want to do that. That's risky play, but it might be risks that are necessary to take now for Inshaa. Without the victory early on, it's not gonna be easy. And Gonzo actually even getting the flag in the north. Maybe a bit overeager here. Losing a couple of units in transports here. I'm not sure he already has the strength to easily push over here, but he obviously can afford taking some bad trades with the income advantage he has. The only thing he can't afford is leaving the advantage around for Inshaa for too long and leaving Inshaa without pressure so that Inshaa can set up the perfect defense. And I think Gonzo did that well, the counterattack here in the center. Really, really well done. Getting the 13-11 at this stage is a big threat for Inshaa's position in this game. He needs to get rid of that in any way possible. Either by taking back an enemy flag, or by, as he takes one in the south, or by cleaning up in the center itself. That's not going to be easy though, with the Jagdpanzer and so on. S2 is moving there. Got ADP coming in from the rear. S2 over here. Not moving over the river either. Stropniki being pushed back. Panzer 3N really strong against infantry. Huzharok Golyorsk getting hit in the north. Taking some nice damage. Jagdpanzer goes down over here, but so does the Studebaker. Jagdpanzer in this position is an SD1. And the Panzer Grenadiers and the Grenadier DPs and so on, keeping the enemy at bay. Got a DP getting nearly stunned off there. Panzer keeping up the pressure. Katyusha landing in the north. But a single Katyusha usually not doing the damage. Doing the stun, but there's no half tracks or anything to follow it up. And even that part, the Katyusha here this time around, didn't quite do it. So with Inshaa being on the take, Gonzo in a great position here to take game number 3, to get himself into the match point position. And Inshaa will have to fight on for dear life here now to try to prevent that. Like, this game is in a super tough spot for a red player. If he would have had, like, maybe Gonzo down to 1/3 of his hit points or so, I feel like the position might be a different one, but we have only so few points taken out of Gonzo's hit point bar. Gonzo will be there in no time. And even if Inshaa equalizes right now, he still will only have a small advantage, right? So it will only be up to Gonzo for doing one more push at the very late game to get there. Mercer, 210mm artillery out now as well. 2 of them, they can deal massive damage to the enemy. So great artillery here now as well for Gonzo with Harteneck. As they fire into the enemy rear. Okay. IS-2 still holding strong. Everything else though can fall to it. And there's not that much AAE around here anymore for our player in red. Got ADP coming up here. Yes, that's MG. And Huzharok Golyorsk still holding the line, even against an IS-2. The big artillery guns now trying to get rid of the IS-2. That would obviously be massive. And they, with direct hits, deal a good amount of damage even to the heaviest of tanks. So IS-2 versus Huzharok is going decently, but it will only be at 11-13 at this stage, with the north being the way it is. Heinkel 111 coming in with a nice bombing run. 14-10 for Gonzo. And it might go to a 59 soon. 13-11 for Gonzo. And Inshaa surrenders. Game number 3. As this game really went out of hand here now for him in the end. KD-wise, Gonzo was already up. And with the extra points that Gonzo had on the battlefield, Inshaa was outnumbered and outgunned there heavily. 84th, needed to do the job in B-phase, needed to at least get way more points or way better trades. Inshaa not able to do so, so Gonzo wins Krupa, wins the defensive play here. Well done. Really interesting game. Really entertaining and educating game, all of these two. I'm absolutely loving the series. Can't wait for game number 4, as Gonzo is on the match ball. And might be able to get himself his next title